That's an extremely fine balance, Eamon, that my father's trying to describe there. Is it possible?
And he has his finger right on the pulse of something that is affecting the Arab world. And Dr. Brzezinski, I wanted to ask you about that. We know here in the United States, there is a sensitivity to that. A lot of the news organizations did not publish or republish those cartoons, even in the wake of these attacks. You talk about some of that being a bit provocative. Do you feel that enough is being done in Europe to not be provocative, not just in the issue of cartoons, but even the former French president, Nicolas Sarkozy, had made disparaging comments about some of the migrant communities and the slums of Paris when he was running for president. Do you feel that the European leadership speaks in the same way that some in the U.S. speak when it comes to trying to narrow that gap with those that are marginalized?
We are a multi-ethnic society, a multi-religious society, so perhaps it's a little easier for us. It's ingrained in us that our society is a world of diversity. The European countries, by and large, are ethnically and religiously more or less homogeneous. So reactions tend to be more kind of one-sided. So I think the European leaders have more of a difficulty in dealing with these problems. I don't overestimate the degree to which that is the problem, because obviously we are democracies, we have to have freedom of expression. But it doesn't do any harm to be measured, even in humor, and to avoid engaging in forms of humor, sardonic or whatever, that then becomes profoundly offensive to the deepest religious motivations of people who are insecure, who are confronting modernity for the first time, who easily interpret slights into offensive, intolerable acts, and who can then be swept up by a fanatical movement. That's point number one. Point number two, as to the reaction against all of that, we have to avoid not overdoing what we do over there in the Middle East. One of the most important things in my mind is to avoid becoming the #1 enemy of the fanatics, because that will turn the sharp edge of fanaticism altogether against us and will make it difficult to resolve the problems of the Middle East in such a fashion that the authentic moderates in the Middle East are effectively in charge.
Chuck Todd.